Hello, all you people. Today I'm going to be reading you a book, and it is called You're Not Broken. 5 Steps to Become Superconscious and Activate Your Magic by Christopher Michael Duncan. He's a Kiwi, New Zealander, currently living in Australia, multi-millionaire, teaching us awesome stuff that helps him get what he wants in life. And we can use too, through working with the superconscious field, which you could also just label God, and recoding your mind to focus on what you create rather than focusing on problems. And I'm smoking a cigar, Hamlet cigar, because I can. And I do what I want in my own home. Okay, so I've literally just read it, and I thought I'm going to just read it on my channel because it's dope. You're Not Broken. 5 Steps to Becoming Superconscious and Activating Your Magic. Christopher Michael Duncan. So obviously credit to him because I'm reading it word for word. To Dees, my brother, I miss you. He was a good business partner of his, as you'll learn. Contents, blah blah blah. Introduction, Chapter 1, The Journey of Creating a Life You Love. Chapter 2, The Creative Energy. Chapter 3, Individuation. Chapter 4, Structure. 5, The Magnetic Moment. 6, Becoming Superconscious. 7, True Choices. 8, The 5-Step Superconscious Creator Code. And then Game Time. And about the author. Acknowledgements. This book would not have happened without some amazing people helping me along the way. Here is a very small selection. To my wife, thank you for everything. Thank you for your patience, support, and love to help this book and work come to life. I love you. To my parents, thank you for giving me the best start in life. I love you. And to my teachers and mentors, especially Colette and William, thank you for your wisdom, guidance, and clarity. Without you, this book would not exist. To my Superconscious Education family, team, and clients, I am so grateful to you all. This is our book. We get to share this with the world. I am so proud of you. And finally, thanks to you, the reader, who picked up this book in a conscious effort to create the best life possible. I love you. Introduction. What you hold in your hands is the definitive guide to creating a life you love using your superconscious. I need to stop putting these bloody cigars down. You will learn to orient to the world in a new structure, allowing you to create amazing end results that you love. You will learn how to connect to the superconscious field, transform any limitations, and magically manifest thoughts into things. And a coffee. Bear with me, I'm definitely going to read without constant cigar and coffee breaks. You will learn the simple 5-step process that only takes 15 minutes a day and will create magical results in your life. You will learn how to connect to your superconscious, manifest with ease, and remove any resistance to what you desire through the recode process. In order to write this book, I had to become it. I needed to live, breathe, and prove everything you are about to learn. I struggled deeply to integrate many of the concepts within, and I hope I communicated them in a way that is meaningful, practical, and easy to implement. Science supports everything I write in this book. I draw on quantum physics, epigenetics, neuroscience, and ancient wisdom. Yet, this is not an academic paper. This is an operating manual. An operating manual, a plan, a new way of being. This work is not just mine, it is a synthesis of years of research, trial, error, experience, and mastery passed down to me by many intelligent individuals. These people have coached, trained, and inspired me along the way, and my only hope is that I do their brilliance justice in this book. This book is meant to be a read from start to finish, in the order it is. Sorry, I can't read, I'm dyslexic. This book is meant to be read from start to finish in the order it is written. Many concepts and exercises build on each other. Each story and each exercise is coded in a specific pattern to ensure your superconscious is awakened and engaged in the perfect way. Many ideas are repeated and re-explained in different ways to ensure all aspects of you understand. I like understand better. Exactly how to complete this amazing work. What this book will do for you is quite literally out of this world, so do not take it lightly. This book will change your life, so don't skip through a section or an exercise. If you do not have time to do an exercise in the moment, just wait and come back to it when you do. The wake up call. The wake up call. For years, I tried to create change by focusing on my conscious beliefs. I did mantras, used affirmations, and read countless books. I then graduated to working on my unconscious or subconscious beliefs and found better results. It wasn't until tragedy struck in my life that I was introduced to the superconscious field of information. Once I was introduced, it was all I heard about for the next 4 years. Finally, I gave in and accepted a new reality, once filled with intuition, genius, and power. One filled with intuition, genius, and power. This reality was in direct contrast to being a victim, a powerless and reactive person. In March of 2016, my world changed. My business partner and very close friend, Mark Deese to me, was killed in a motorcycle crash. Not only was he running our company, but he was also the first mentor who introduced me to the world of self-improvement and self-development. He was my number one support, besides my wife and my closest confidant. In the 10 years before he died, I went from being a DJ at his bar to hiring him into my company. I had these run operations and we eventually became full partners. Not a day went by when we didn't talk. We had plans to change the world through our business, and in one moment, those plans were all gone. I distinctly remember the moment I found out he had died. It was at an event in Anaheim, California, where I was promoting a big name speaker with over 200 people in attendance. I was frantically running around, making sure everyone was being looked after. However, my phone would not stop buzzing. I finally picked it up to hear Dave, Deese's roommate in Bali, on the other end of the phone, letting me know that Deese had died hours ago in a motorcycle accident. Reminds me of a friend I have called Deej, who could very well end up, he did almost end up dead because of his bloody motorbike. Similar name, similar style. Anyway, back to the text, the book. I was listed as the person to call in case of an accident. I then had the grim task of informing his family. There has never been a harder moment in my life. The months that followed were excruciating. The business fell apart, and I fell apart emotionally. It felt like the world had been ripped from me. All my plans for the future seemed pointless. How could life be so cruel? And what was the point of it all anyway? Falling from multi-million dollar business to hundreds of thousands in debt over a period of just a few months was not pleasant. Losing my support, my friend, and my mentor was even harder. Many of my other friends reached out to help. Many offered for me to attend their healing seminars, have free sessions, or even go on retreats at no cost. But I didn't feel like doing any work. I had given up. Previous to this collapse, I had been flying high, traveling the world and speaking in over a dozen countries to thousands of people at live events. I had even been invited to be featured in a movie called Rise Up, with the star-studded cast, including Anthony Robbins, the Dalai Lama, and more. As I flew back to LA for the filming, I was flooded with messages from a lady called Colette, who apparently had a new healing method she wanted to show me. I wanted nothing of it. However, she insisted we meet up after filming since she was in LA too, and I reluctantly agreed. I sat down for the first session with Colette with a sense of I don't want to be here. She spent 30 minutes explaining what the superconscious was and how it works to create fast change. She explained memory, structures, and where our beliefs come from. Then she asked me to do a test session to learn the process based on a fear. Maybe you have a fear of public speaking, she said. Ha, ha, no way, I replied. I love public speaking. She kept digging. After a painful minute of silence, I shared that I had worked on everything and was fine. Everything except my anger at the world for my circumstances. She decided we would work through that anger. I had this huge chip on my shoulder. I was mad at my friend for dying. I was stressed trying to do the right thing by his family, look after my staff, and keep all my promises to my customers. I had to admit I was doing a terrible job with all of it, and I was making unbelievably stupid business decisions. I was a mess. Colette asked me to close my eyes, and she began working with my superconscious by asking some questions and giving strange commands. It all seemed stupid and like a watered down version of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, or hypnosis. I wasn't impressed until it hit me. I suddenly felt a huge sense of fear come over me. It rattled through my body, creating some very odd muscle movements. Personal note from me, outside of this, I also, when I first did this and multiple times, something I've never experienced before, had involuntary muscle spasms. As he mentions, it rattled through my body, creating some very odd muscle movements. I had muscle movements in my left arm, twitch, as if it was releasing energy. And Reiki never did that. Quantum freedom healing never did that. NLP never did that. So there is something about this super conscious recode technique that it's different. It works. Then, back to the book. Then snap. It was gone. It felt like my brain had just let go of whatever the problem was, like it was actually gone. What was I so upset about? I said, laughing out loud. Lol. I added that. I had gone from being totally upset about my friend and my circumstances to calm in just minutes. I couldn't make sense of it. I was asked to open my eyes, and I sat there stunned and in awe. This was the beginning of a lifelong friendship with Colette, an obsession with the superconscious. For 2 years, I worked with the superconscious every day. I did one-on-one sessions with Colette multiple times a week to clear everything that was in the way. I had my staff take sessions and even launched business programs with Colette to get her work out into the world. I got amazing results, but I couldn't keep the momentum going for long. Luckily, I met the only other person in the world who could help me see I was only exercising the superconscious for half of what it could do. This chance encounter happened when I flew to London to run a workshop on public speaking. During the workshop, I was having fun using superconscious commands to play with public speaking fears in the audience when a woman said, "This reminds me of William Whitecloud. Do you know him?" I had met William 8 years before this moment at a high-priced, intimate workshop for business owners. I didn't know I was sitting next to the best-selling author of The Magician's Way at the time. We never really formed a bond, other than connecting on Facebook. So I replied, "No, I don't really know him." The woman's reply changed my life. You really need to connect with him. He does this work as well. For some reason, I couldn't shake off what she said. I had to connect with William. Later that night, I reached out on Facebook, letting him know I really had to speak to him. I think I sent 4 or 5 messages within 24 hours with a request for us to get on a call. I must have sounded crazy, as his reply was, "Are you alright, amigo?" His response still makes me laugh today. He was busy and didn't have spare time to indulge people he hardly knew. So he asked me to read his books, and then we'd speak within a week. Happy with his answer, I went to Amazon and purchased both of his books. One, on the flight home from London to Australia, I read them twice. Here was the missing link. He wrote about creating, intuition, magic, and how to use the superconscious to create. I couldn't believe it. When I finally got to speak to William, we connected instantly. We both had studied Robert Fritz's work and were applying it in different ways. William used it to create, and I used it in sales and public speaking. We made a decision. I would help him with online marketing, and he would coach me on how to connect to my genius, intelligence, and intuition using the superconscious. I was hooked. I worked with him twice a month and attended his complete training curriculum, which taught psychic ability, intuition, alchemy, and much more. From that moment on, everything sped up. Within the next 2 years, I earned more money than I had ever made, married the love of my life, created my dream house, and became the happiest I had ever been. It seemed I finally got what I was searching for, the combination of my earlier discovery, structure, and all the aspects of the superconscious turned me into a manifesting powerhouse. I started to understand the superconscious and create a working relationship with it. I began to get clear interpretations of myself and others, and I found that I could communicate with their superconscious to create huge transformations. I stopped having Colette work with my team and me, and I started performing the sessions myself using a combination of the things I had learned over the past 15 years. The results were amazing. One day, I was sitting doing my morning meditation, connecting to the superconscious and asking for guidance. I was given clear instructions to put on a workshop and teach a recode. I had no idea what the recode was, but I had a vision. I was on stage working with people and using this new method. So I told my team and my wife we were going to do an evening session on the superconscious recode, and I was going to bring people on a stage and demonstrate it. I scheduled 3 events, one on the Gold Coast, one in Brisbane, and one on the Sunshine Coast. I was nervous about doing the first one, but I'm glad I followed through. The video recording of that session shows me working with 2 women in front of the audience and recoding their fear of public speaking in minutes. The women shifted from shaking and nervousness to complete confidence and calm. This video was the catalyst for a movement that I was now generating over $1 million in sales a month and has over 10,000 happy clients globally. It is totally magic. If you have been on a journey to create a life you love, transform your health, or manifest something new in your life, this is your wake up call. You are not broken. You do not need to fix yourself. You are superconscious. What is your superconscious? Your superconscious is an aspect of you, which is more you than anything you think you are. It is one of the 3 aspects of the mind we will discuss in this book. The superconscious is where your innate genius, intuition, and universal connection is. Up until now, you have likely not had a functional, working relationship with this part of yourself, and therefore have only ever experienced yourself as limited. It's time to change that. Creating a working relationship with the superconscious will allow you to create beautiful end results, turn your thoughts into things with predictability, create amazing healing transformations, and harness the magic of manifestation, along with being guided by coaches, mentors, and teachers. I have studied and applied success, education, and personal development, although altogether My experience has proven to me the validity, validity of using my superconscious mind to create anything my heart desires in this world. Before I say more about the superconscious, you must understand how much we have been misled and misguided. We have had our natural power taken away from us. It has been handed over to others, to pills, education, institutions, and leaders who do not know the truth. In this book, you will find the truth. The truth is you are a powerful creator of everything in your reality. You are not broken. If you have ever been to a conference or seminar or read a book that promises you will create a better life, you likely have been misled. You were likely told there was something to fix or improve about yourself, or that there was something you must do to become a success. The focus on needing to fix, improve, or heal our current reality is actually the problem. This focus causes more pain than you can imagine. In this book, you will discover the truth that you do not need to fix, improve, or heal yourself in order to create a life you love. I will explain in detail how many structures in society work against us and prevent us from creating a life we love, and how to step outside of those structures. I will also share secrets that have been hidden for centuries and give you a step-by-step code to use your superconscious to create magic. I am so happy to be your guide on the journey to magical manifestation and creating beautiful end results that you love. For me, this was such a huge breakthrough, and it only happened after I lost it all, when my best friend died. At the moment of losing it all, my best friend, my business, my success, my emotions, I discovered something important. I choose I could choose to feel good. I didn't have to be a powerful victim. I could smile and love my life. I could live my purpose and be healthy. I still remember the moment I opened the gate and realized I was not just a limited perspective. I was superconscious awareness and was creating everything. I remember feeling as though I was breathing the universe, and at the same time, it was breathing me. I was the observed and the observer. In this moment, I realized I was connected to everything, and I was not separate. This changed everything. This realization was the biggest gift, but it took another 2 years to fully accept the moment and to reorient myself. The 5 step superconscious creator code I share in this book will teach you how to connect to these end results. Notice any resistance you have created to their manifestation and then change the instructions that caused the resistance. This will remove the resistance and allow the correct action to flow. The action that will flow could be an internal action like a health transformation, or it could be an external action like going out and starting a business. As a creative energy, you will always take the path of least resistance. However, you created all resistance as a useful barrier in an attempt to avoid pain. If you experienced a negative outcome, your superconscious would create a blockage to stop it from happening in the future. Think of it like putting a dam in the way of a stream. No flow can happen until the dam is opened. By recoding, you open the dam. This journey and what I will share with you in this book changed my life. Thousands have used it to create miraculous healing transformations, to manifest more money, abundance, or better futures, and to turn dreams into reality. With this book, you will unlock the secret genie within and become a powerful creator. What to expect. By the end of reading this book, you will know the Superconscious Creator Code, a 5 step method that allows you to get into the correct structure to unlock your natural gifts, intuition, and genius and create a magnetic mind, pulling in anything you really desire. This book is a challenge to a call to action. I will ask you to step into a new reality, to reconsider some of your deepest held beliefs, and will give you a second chance in life. I will give you the code, but you will have to use it, implement it, and assimilate it to make it your own. Many who find their way to this work have spent a lifetime or lifetimes seeking to understand how to create what they love and have found themselves going round and around in circles. This is where the journey of seeking stops and where a new life will emerge. So treasure what you find here. It is time to create a life you love. It is time to create a life you love. Now, as that's the introduction. Stay tuned for tomorrow for chapter 1. It's incredible. It's worth it. I'm going to read it to you authentically. It's basically an audiobook, but I'm here with you visually. So yeah, stay tuned for the rest of the book. It's freaking golden, and I'm going to make a lot more content on the topic. We're going to read the book, and I have the course from this guy, which literally costs tens of thousands of pounds. And I'm going to study it and recreate it and make content for you guys so you can create your dream reality too. But for now, stay tuned for the rest of the You're Not Broken book, and dislike, don't comment, keep scrolling, ignore my channel, because I'm not begging for likes and subs. Reverse psychology.